Hey there, Soul Explorers. Today we're talking about connecting to nature using the 5 elements. But first, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kira Siva. I'm a spiritual healer and guide helping all of you on the path of spiritual awakening. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. It's delightful to have you here. And if you haven't done it yet, don't forget to click the subscribe button below and tippity-tip-tap that notification bell so you can be the first to know whenever I upload a new video. Okay, let's jump in. So in your spiritual exploration, you have probably run across those stories of saints and sages and medicine people that seem to have this omnipotent connection and communion with the nature around them. It may seem like a really far-fetched idea to have such a connection and communion with something that feels so out of our control and so large and mysterious. But the truth is we're a part of nature. You're a part of nature, I'm a part of nature, and this nature is comprised of 5 elements. Now, these 5 elements I'm going to cover today aren't the only elements out there. It's not the only way of looking at it. There's a lot of different ways of looking at how all of this creation works. The 5 elements theory that I'm going to talk about today was something that really made a lot of sense to me when I was introduced to it and when I started to see the world through these eyes of these 5 elements. Part of our relationship to nature has really been subjugated to human needs and desires. A lot of it has been shut down and numbed out, raped and pillaged, and really just dishonored. But our connection is not wholeheartedly lost, and I want to show you a path of exploration to help you develop your personal relationship with her, with nature herself, and with all of these 5 elements. Especially as you become a lot more present in the here and now during your spiritual awakening journey, you're going to find that you're not kind of called always off to some mystical, ethereal meditation land. You're being called to bring all of your soul energy and focus into this physical reality, into this world that you live in here and now. All of the great saints and sages have all mastered the 5 elements to one degree or another. And ultimately, this practice is essential for your spiritual evolution, growth, and on your journey towards enlightenment. The 5 elements are like puzzle pieces, and once you get them to interconnect, that can really help you build your communication and your connection with nature herself. Okay, so what are the 5 elements? The 5 elements are space, air, fire, water, and earth. These aren't the only way, again, you can look at how the creation of life is. It's just the way that I was introduced to that helped me understand life a lot better. These elements have physical qualities, like their names, and they also provide processes and functions within life itself and even within our bodies. We're going to get into that in just a second. But before we do, I want to share with you a few tips on how to explore your relationship to these elements and some things to keep in mind as you explore your relationship to nature. And here they are. The first one is curiosity. Curiosity is amazing because it suspends your beliefs. Everything you thought you knew, you can just hold it in suspense so that you can allow yourself to see from different perspectives, to gain different knowledge, and to take in different pieces of information. Curiosity is amazing, and I hope during any of your spiritual awakening journey you remain curious, but especially with working with the elements because they can show up in ways that you weren't necessarily expecting them to. The second one is having an open heart. Having an open heart is essential. Look, just do the best you can wherever you're at. Just try to open your heart to each of the elements. Imagine if you were building a relationship with someone. How much better and faster would that relationship be built if you came to that person with an open heart, with gratitude, with curiosity, with just respect for it being there. An open heart is so essential in your ability to commune with nature and to commune with each element. Having that open heart really opens up a channel for the information from your soul to come through, from your angels and guides to come through, and really for Mother Nature to speak to you through love, through the feelings of your heart. So when you have an open heart, you'll just find that it just makes everything so much easier and smoother, and you can gain a lot deeper insights a lot quicker by just having a loving nature. And part of that is because when you have an open heart and you have love, you have respect, you have equality, you have the desire to see what is there with unconditional acceptance. And the last one is intention. You can think of intention like this. Intention is the bridgeway between you and her. Intention, when you set that, is this very subtle fabric that influences. It's a subtle energy that influences the outcome. It influences your perception, it influences the actions, and it influences the information that you can take in. So just remember, she is always listening, and you can really use your intention to communicate with her. And one last bonus tip, Mother Nature is always listening. She is you. You are her. She's everywhere around you. And she wants to connect with you. She wants you to be able to hear her, to read her, to understand her needs. So as you delve into your personal relationship with these 5 elements, just keep that in your heart, that this connection is real, it's alive, and she is everywhere around you. She is the spirit in all things. And most importantly, practice and patience. You may not get deep insights your first time out, your second time out, your third time out, but you need to keep practicing, and you need to have patience to just keep doing the work, keep looking at the elements, keep building the relationship, and really just hang in there. I know we all live in our squirrel mind worlds where, something is shiny and cool for like 2.5 days, and then we move on to the next TikTok, we move on to the next video, the next concept, the next thing. But really take it to heart of developing this relationship and give it the time it really deserves. So just remember, practice and patience. You got this. It can happen for you. Just keep going. Okay, let's dive into the elements. The first element, space. I don't know if you noticed this about me, but I love me some space. I love me some space so much. My favorite element probably ever. Space is amazing. It is this boundaryless container. You take up space, I take up space. The earth is just floating in space. It is amazing. Nothing else in creation can take place if there's no space. You can also see space in your body as the cavities of your body. So just if you're trying to connect that to your actual physicality, take note of that. How can you connect to space? You can connect to space really easily. Just look up. Look up. Look up at the clouds. Look up at the sky. Look up at the stars. When you're out in nature, spend some time laying on the ground, staring deeply, deeply, deeply into the sky. It is the most amazing soul time, and the sky is a very regenerative element for us. We spend so much time looking down at screens, and yeah, there's certain kinds of space within a screen, but it's not the same as looking out into just the nothingness, into the galaxies. If you do have a chance, and I recommend this for everyone, go look at stars. The awe that you feel when you look up at the sky and you see the Milky Way core, or you see the sky and it's not just 1 or 2 or 3 stars or just a few bright stars that you can see in the city, but when you're out in nature and you can see the whole sky is covered in twinkling lights. There's barely any darkness in it. It's mind-blowing. And that awe, that connection, that awe, that is connection to space. That brings out your soul. That brings out those bigger perspectives, that higher wisdom. It flows through you. So if you get a chance, get out of the city, get away from lights, and get connected to some awe and some space. Especially if you are struggling finding inspiration, or you really wish that you could answer some really big, deep, juicy questions. Space is the element you want to go to. All right, let's move on. Air, the air element. The air element can be seen as the breath within our lungs. It is movement. So, as you know, wind, as you probably are hearing in this video because I'm shooting it outside, it's so windy. That is the air element. The air element's function is movement. So it's the movement of our thoughts, it's the movement of our mind, it's the movement of wind over the mountains. It's the movement that pushes clouds and carries clouds throughout the sky. Air is more dense than space, so we've increased the density as we've went from space to air. And it's said that the friction between air is what causes fire, which is going to be our next element. Connecting to the air element. So the air element is the wind. It's the air in our lungs. So there's a couple of really easy access points. One is really just connecting to your breath, really feeling the air come in and out of your lungs, come in and out of your nose and your mouth, or doing a practice like pranayama or the Buddhist meditation practices of bringing your awareness to your breathing. Another way is by connecting to the wind, so being very present, hearing the wind, feeling the wind brush across your face, recognizing the wind as it pushes clouds, or even watching birds fly on top of the wind. It's said that angels live on the wind, so call in your angels. Make a big call out to your angels and feel the wind whoosh in around you, bringing their divine and beautiful energy. The element of fire. Fire transforms things from one thing to another. In your body, you can see it as metabolism. It's transforming one thing into another, and also as sight. It's the element that lives between worlds. And spiritual traditions across spans of times and regions have used fire to communicate with spirit. Connecting to fire is simple. You can watch a candle flame, or you can watch a fire burning like a campfire or a stove fire. It's really just that easy. The Indian tradition has a ceremony called a homa, or a fire puja. This is where they have a sacred fire ceremony and they offer things into the fire to bless people with their desires. Water. The element of water is denser than air and denser than fire. It also represents, like air, movement, but this movement is much more dense than the movement of air. We can see this in the body as all the liquids in our body. Water are our emotions. They are the things that ebb and flow over time. Water also is a life-giving source for us. Connecting to water is super easy too. It is as simple as recognizing and honoring the water when you wash your hands, before you drink water, and even if you get into like a bath or a shower, of just connecting with that water element. Earth, the earth element. So the earth element provides the structure. You can be seen as the body is like the bones, the skin, things that create the structure of things. When I think of earth, I also think of mountains, or the earth that we live on. It creates containers for us. Earth is also very magnetizing. So one of the best uses for earth, honestly, is grounding, of putting our bare feet on the ground and allowing that energy to ground us down towards the center of the earth. Connecting with the earth element is very easy. So that is just going outside and having bare feet and walking on the ground, like I said, or if you're a gardener, getting your hands into the dirt and enjoying some of that earth element, or even just going out to a beautiful nature spot for a hike or seeing some mountains. All of those things can be really helpful in just connecting with the earth and the magnetism and beauty of the earth. That's it. Those are your introduction to the 5 elements. So really, in order to be able to continue building this relationship, take some time and focus on one element at a time. You know, maybe for the next week or two, you really want to focus on the water element, recognizing emotions, recognizing where the water's at in your life, recognizing the flow of liquidity in your body and in the world around you. Take that time to heartfully connect with each element and love them. They are all around us and they provide us so much. Learn to listen to the element. Learn to read the element. Learn to understand the function and process of the element and all of its amazing benefits it provides in your life. And that's it. You're on your way. I can always make more videos in the future on how to progress this relationship, but for right now, you have 5 elements. You got some time to be working with it, so just enjoy the process of exploring the 5 elements and ultimately of being able to have a larger connection with life itself, with nature herself, and at some point being able to really communicate and understand and listen to this beautiful creation that we live in. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to click the subscribe button below and tippity tip tap that notification bell so you can be the first to know whenever I upload a new video. And I would love it if you made it this far in the video, leave me a little mountain emoji below. I would love to know if you are here. Until next time, have a beautiful and blessed day. Fire. So that deer was just walking straight towards me, like straight towards me until I turned to notice it. Just hanging out. Okay, I accept nature's blessings. Thank you very much. We're talking about connecting to nature. Here comes deer number 2. We're going to talk about fire. Fire